I'm not out of ideas. I planned this the whole time. And yeah, today we're doing a tier list. Yeah, yay, whatever. So today we're going to be ranking these all Japanese weapons from history. A tier list about almost all the Japanese weapons of history. Go on ahead if there's anything missing. I'm sorry, but anyway, I can name them in the list. Huh, this guy is pretty dumb. Why couldn't he name it in the tier list? So let's go ahead and check out down here. Okay, I can see some notable things. Maybe not. Wow, there's some confusing things about this. I can't even see the image right here. Maybe this guy was bad at making the images. Anyways, whatever. Geez, hold on. Let's just change this. Okay, we're gonna go with the S. We're gonna make it super deadly. There we go. And then we're gonna put in the D as just a toy. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so I upgraded the tier list. We're gonna go with super deadly, which is probably, actually going to kill you with one strike, sort of. And we're going, and maybe the aesthetics and everything. How cool is it? How memorable is it? And then we're gonna go to A. Yeah, it looks cool or whatever. It can still kill, but it wasn't not that deadly. And then going to B. Yeah, it's effective at some times, at some point, maybe like during close range. C is maybe, yeah, you're out of danger and you don't have anything else, and it's basically going to break or something that's not useful. Maybe you just find it in the street. And then E is going to be terrible. Maybe you shouldn't have this at all, but I guess it's for self-defense. And just a toy, it's just a toy. Maybe it's not that useful if you're fighting a guy. If he's really good at martial arts or something, or maybe he's, I don't know, he's like really tall and can just hit you with a stick with it. Alright, let's just jump right into it. Okay, first is the bow staff. Alright, the bow staff. It's a really good weapon just for training. And I guess you can literally find this anywhere. It's just a stick. I know a lot of bow staffs are made out of metal, which is more effective. And bow staffs, you guys do realize, these things are actually heavy and hard hitters. But they're not actually really effective enough. I guess except for stabbing. There's a time when I see someone getting hit by a bow staff, but the edge hits its nose and then he starts bleeding. So yeah, maybe a sort of an effective weapon. I think it's going in either B tier. Next is the Kusari Fundo. If you don't know, this is just a chain with a giant metal thing in it. It's literally just a chain with a heavy metal part of it. You've seen a lot of these used by Michelangelo. If you guys didn't notice, Michelangelo used to use this, and also Master Splinter, and I guess maybe one of the ninjas from Ninjago, whatever. Now this is a good hitting weapon. It also can help you trap swords, like if you have a sword and you're really good enough to swing it and then capture it. It's really good, especially for whipping. Not just kidding, we're not gonna whip anyone. But the thing about this thing is, depending on how long it is, and you can actually just avoid this. This is like a Elden Ring DLC. When you like his attack is about to come, you could just dodge it or hit it back. Yeah, but I go with the same length as the bow staff. It's effective enough to hit someone. Now, for those who don't know what this is, sorry for the imaging. This is a regular Japanese World War II gunto. Now, a gunto, it's just a katana, a Itachi sort of make katana. It's really not that long because, it's the age of war and guns and stuff. There weren't any people who were gonna shoot you while you were holding a sword. This is obviously a lose-lose situation, but it does look fashionable. I do have one. A sword is a sword, so it is effective. And it is fashionable. You can die from a sword. A lot of these are made out of Chinese railway steel, also in Tamahagari's katana. Yeah, I guess it goes in the B tier. On second thought, let me just put the Kusarigama here, and the Kusari Fundo, and the bow stick right there. Next is the Kama. Now these are like weapon trappers. This is very effective, I guess. I already told you that the B is effective and it's good enough, but these Kama can slice you. And if you have two of them, you can defend yourself from enemy attacks. However, this isn't going to be effective at far range. There's a lot of weapons that are further, unless you get really close and then snatch the guy's weapon and then hit him with the Kamas. It is a stabbing point. You can see the stabbing points. I guess it does go in the B. It definitely goes in the B. Next is the giant boy Kanabo. Oh boy, this thing, man. They could literally bash your skull to mush, I guess, something. The thing is, it's really heavy, obviously. If you get hit this in the ribs, you will have no ribs. No more ribs for you, man. So I'm putting this in A. The only downfall is just too heavy. Maybe there is a longer and shorter version of it, but depends on what it is. Alright, we all know where we're going here. The Weeaboo's choice of weapon. The geeks of all armory, the katana, the usual. This is just a regular image of the Uchigatana. Yes, it is used in many martial arts, very popular for the weeboos, and I used it once to cut a stone by a ghost, because the told me to, and there's another ghost. It is effective, however, it is just a katana. It's just the same as the Gunto, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. Next is the kunai. Now, the thing about kunai, it's just a knife. You can throw this, but it won't be effective unless you put a poison here. But it is still effective more than the Kama. It's less effective than the Kama. Let's just put it in C tier, just because you can use this in close range and you can throw it, and you can look cool with it. The Kusarigama is just basically the Kusari Fundo mixed with the Kama. And because of that, it is more effective than ever. Unless you know how to really control this thing. This is really hard if you don't know how to use it. So I'm putting it in the A tier because you need a lot of training with it and you need a lot of experience with it. Now, let's go on to this. This is the Kyugunto. If you guys don't know, in Japan, they have a moment of like Europeization or Westernization where they wanted to make their katanas more like the the Revolution cavalry sabers. And I say it is kind of fashionable for a cavalry or like a regular saber. It is also effective. It's one-handed. It's straight nimbled, and it is still, some of them are still made in Tamahagane, and it's actually really good. However, because this weapon is short, because it's less, and it's also a bit thinner from any other katanas. It's just the same thing. It's a sword. A sword is a sword, like all these three. Come on, they're all swords. Now, the Nagamaki. This is basically half of the katana and half of a handle. For this, I will give it an A because this is one of my favorite weapons. This is also hard to control, but it is a good slicer once you get the hang out of it. Alright, so far we didn't find any super deadly in E or just the toy thing. This is gonna be very hard. But oh, what a coincidence. I just found out my new one. This is the Naginata. Now the Naginata is a trained weapon, but you can use this really effectively, and it can also cut down the body. Because this was used by a lot of female samurais, it's also really easy to use because you don't have to use brute strength, you have to use nimbleness, and you have to use edge alignment. But this is actually a really good weapon. There's a reason why it stays for like almost 1,000 years. I'm putting it in super deadly, and it's also for far range. I can see also a lot of Naginatas are really good. More coincidence, the Nekote to me is not useful, okay? It kinda looks like you can scratch someone, but I'm guessing if someone comes at you with scratchy fingers, you're more effective just to kick them or find a heavy stick just to beat them up. It's Nekote. Nekote means cat hands, and I know that cats can't kill me. I can kill me. Now for all the 13-year-old boys, the Ninjato is definitely another sword. Only it's shorter, it's straighter, so it doesn't have a really good edge alignment. But, however, ninjas use there's a lot of use. The scabbard has a hole in it so you can breathe in. There's also a secret compartment where you put, I think it's a bunch of food and stuff. The Sageo is also used as a stepping stool. Well, the Suba was used as a stepping stool. And when you step on the thing, you would definitely use it to create a stepping stool, and then you have to climb through walls. Also, this is more practical than deadly. It's still how to say, a sword is a sword. And I'm putting in here. It is shorter. I would have put it here in C tier. Not really that useful. It is good for stabbing, but it's just shorter and there's a longer range weapons. But it's also like a multi-purpose tool. Now for the nunchaku. I recently watched Shadiversity's video about how the nunchaku has like less force than a regular bow staff, and after that I checked that it is right, but with the more force you have, with more speed you have, you will able to control your weapon. And also this thing can deflect using the chains here. You can deflect swords or anything, but that's gonna be a hard thing. And you can also just choke people. But it is still the same as like the bow staff. It is the same heavy hitter. It can also defend from blades because, well, obviously it's made out of chains, but some of them are made out of wood, which is also impossible. But I do find this also have a lot of hard training to do. So I'm just gonna put it in our first ever E. I started to offend the nunchaku guys, but during times of war, you need to use this at some point. And this is not using as self-defense, not actually in self-defense right now. It's still used in karate and Kyokushin karate at some point. But it is still a good weapon to me. It's just, it's less effective than the bow staff. And also, it's, it has less force after I watched Shadiversity video. Odachi or no Odachi. Now this Odachi is one of my favorite weapons. I really love the Odachi. It's just a katana times 2 or katana times 3. This one in particular is from the shrine. From the shrine as an offering. And I love this thing. There is some Odachis that have a bit longer handle so you can control it. And some of them are actually very nimble. Because of the range, it's almost like a spear sword. And they're really fashionable. They look cool and everything. So we're going to super deadly. In fact, let's not put this in super deadly. I think let's put it as really. Oh wait, hold on. Let's just put it. There we go. My type of weapon. You see, I made my type of weapon, well, because it's anyone's type of weapon, and yeah. Now for the Ono. This is literally axe. Not just any axe, this is a war axe. And you all know that war axes are very effective in war. They look cool, they are cool, and yeah. You can actually defend this thing using the stick. And what are you gonna do? Are you going to deflect an axe with your sword? Obviously not. Definitely my type of weapon tier. Now, the deflective weapon of Okinawa, the trident of all Japanese weapons, one used by one of the favorites of my Ninja Turtle, Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. This weapon is really effective against defending a blade, I think. It depends on how big it is how wider. The hothead does have the uses for this. Did you know that Raphael uses this was given this weapon because this weapon is a defense weapon, and he should learn patience of when to anticipate someone's move. Although this may be effective weapon for defense, it's for the attack is still confusing to me. They said the tip of the side is sort of blunt, but there are also sharp ones. This is actually used by samurai to arrest people. Yeah, sort of. But however, this is still shorter. I see a lot of size, and they're not actually blunt, not actually that sharp, and also they're really short, to be honest. Deflecting a sword is really hard. Okay, you're gonna need a lot of skill and weapon, especially when a sword slides, it slides through. So yeah, but it is good for locking people. I'm gonna give it a C tier just for fun. This is another weapon that is news today, as known as the "you are under arrest" weapon. The Satsumata was usually sharp, but now in modern ages we don't have to. So we use them just to, capture people. It's really good to, get people who's crazy, drunk or something. And if it is sharp, it's really deadly, especially in the sides. And sometimes it's not even that heavy. Some of the blades are even thinner than before, if I ever noticed. So anyways, the Satsumata is really a dangerous weapon if it's sharp, and even if it's not sharp, you can trample it. It's not even, you don't even have to use a lot of training because there's just so many spikes everywhere. I guess, I know, I'm not a really expert at the Satsumata, but a lot of our police force uses it for, drunk guys with knives. So let's go into my type of weapon. Now, for those who don't know what this is the Sentetsu, which is literally the horse, where the rings are on the horse thing. They said if you pinch this hard enough, you can use it as a bludgeon weapon. Now, the thing about bludgeon weapons, this is actually effective, not in war, but I guess in self-defense if you're fast enough. But then again, it's still not that great, because, well, it's barely a bludgeon weapon. You can use this effectively. However, if you use this effectively, you'll still get kicked in the face. Or it's just what I said. Just go around, find a stick or a rock to throw, and you'll be safe from whatever this guy is. So it's going to the weapon. We're finally getting another just a toy one. This is the Senko, I think. I don't know. I forgot the name. Now this is one of the sort of useless weapons. I guess that's a multi-purpose on it. The thing about this weapon, it's well, you just use it as a defense. A lot of people that says like you can defend a sword, you can hold a sword by using the Senko, whatever, using the claw thingy. It's just not that possible, my guy. You can also scratch someone in the face like a cat as usual. Yeah, sure. But however, like I said, you can just run away, find a stick, whack them. So I'm just gonna put them in E because it's still deadly, I guess. Geez, the Naruto fans are gonna piss me off. I'm just gonna put this in just a toy. Listen, this is good unless you're really good at it. This is if you want to learn things right now. So the shuriken is good. However, hear me out, y'all. If you have poison, then it would be very effective. If you throw this in wooden material under there, you can make someone step on it. Sure. But if you just throw this just to hit someone's throat to kill him, I don't believe you, man. That's impossible. So I'm just gonna put this in just a toy. Although it is still effective, it's just as effective as the Nekote. It is a ranged weapon, but it's gotta be big and heavy. And I don't know how big shurikens can get. Well, maybe the size of my laptop, or maybe this would be more effective. I bet you guys don't know what this monster of a weapon is. It's called the Soregarami, and it is literally a tear-repair weapon. It is a bit heavy. It is a bit heavy, but there's no training whatsoever to use this, and it can literally tear your limbs and insides apart. I think it was usually a fishing weapon, but geez, you do not want to get hit in this, especially in the sides of the stick. Everything here in the top is made out of metal. It's just a bunch of vines and like brambles that you twisted on a baseball bat. It's really deadly. You do not want to get hit with this, especially it's just literally a kanabo. It's just the nagina. It's just the yari and a kanabo combined, and the sasumata if they were mutated. The wakizashi, alright. Now for the wakizashi, I do have to find that this is actually effective with the katana of Daisho. It's good against close range. Well, it's not good against actual spears. Sorry there, guys. The camera was slipping. But anyways, the wakizashi, where did it go? Yeah, it's just the same as the C tier. As I was saying, the wakizashi is a good weapon. It's as sharp as a sword. A sword is a sword, but it's a bit shorter and less nimble. It's just like you need this with this, and you'll become like Miyamoto Musashi. You'll become a good pair. Alright, on to the next one before this camera gets obliterated. The Kaiken. This is not a Tanto, if anyone's wondering. So the Kaiken is literally just a weapon for the Japanese women. Kaiken literally means how do I say this? Women's chest knife. It's a knife. It is effective. However, it's a close range, and it's mostly some people use it for stabbing and mostly seppuku. So I'm just gonna put it in E tier because it's a knife. It's close range. I mean, any knife would be dangerous. Now, for same as the thing as the Tanto, it's a bit longer. However, it's also used for assassinations and seppuku. I think it does look good and makes it go to the C tier, but it's just the same with the Kaiken. It's a knife. I mean, you will definitely not want to fight some guy with a knife, but like I said, run away, Grab a giant stick or grab a weapon or a rock. You'll be great. Now, for the fans of Shredder, the Tekogaki is one of the most craziest weapons ever. However, this weapon is mostly a defense weapon, if you guys mostly know. It's sort of like it's sort of like some like really long fingernails. It is a good weapon against, actually it is kind of a good weapon against anything, depending how long it is and how stiff it is. But you also gotta be careful of when to use this. I think I know a person using this, and then he got hurt by himself only because he misses his punches, and then accidentally hit his face or something, or like he was blocking. This is a good weapon, to be honest. I understand why Master Shredder fought with this. It's a good blocking weapon and a good striking weapon if you're stabbing with this. However, I do have some concerns that the metal in here could definitely break if, hit hard enough. But overall, this is a good weapon, so I'm just gonna put it in B tier next to the swords. The Tessen, it's literally a fan. Now the fan is some sort of defensive weapon. However, fighting against a spear or whatever you have, it's definitely not going to be effective against someone with a giant club. Come on, this is a fan, and also, but it is beautiful. I won't put it in the shuriken, I guess. But for the Tessen lovers, does has a sharp edge, a good defense weapon. Let's just put it in E. I said it before, I think one of my videos, that the police should get rid of the Tonfas, so just give them a gun or something. I'm kidding. But yeah, the Tonfas are now the modern weapons of the police force. But because it's a good defensive weapon, and it is kind of a blunt weapon, hard enough to knock someone out, I'm putting it in C tier. It doesn't look fashionable enough, so yeah, not my type of... The Tachi! The Tachi is like the katana, only you use it upwards, it's more curvier, and it's more thinner. They don't use it again since the Mongol invasion, so the little katana is like the katana, the Tachi, but better. It's more shorter and more thicker. But a sword is a sword. To be honest, this was mostly useful for cavalry. It is, however, if a blade is actually more thinner, it's more capable of cutting. And it's actually more effective against in warfare. So I'm just gonna put it in A tier because look at the Tachi, man. You see Tachis? They look more fashionable to wear. Come on, there also some of them have gold in it. If I heard of it, I don't know. But they look more fashionable. They have better fittings. I mean, look at this one. That looks beautiful. For the beauty of it, I'm going to give the Tachi. Wait, where did the Tachi go? Oh, there it is. Yep, an A tier. Exactly an A tier. Alright, now we get to the Yari. Now, come on. This is a spear. A knife, or like a sort of a short knife and a stick. The most effective weapon in the history of mankind. A stick with a sharp end of a stick. Definitely goes into the my type of weapon. It's effective. You can use it anytime. You don't have to train a lot. You don't have to train a lot for this. It's good in range and everything. So yeah, it definitely goes into my type of weapon. Finally, the Yumi, the bow. Now this is one of those 2-meter bows. There's a shorter version of the Yumi, but this was the most common. I don't know how the Japanese used this because it was just so huge on the horses. Whatever, if it's effective, it's effective. I don't think bigger and better is the answer. It's a good weapon. It's a really good weapon. It's a short range weapon. However, if you're in a close range, you're definitely disadvantaged. Yet again, it is cool. It looks pretty cool. You can't reload as fast as much, but the range of it, let's just put it in A tier because a bow is literally one of the main weapons of the samurai. Alright, that's it. I guess that's most of it. If you guys don't agree with this, come on. Why would you? Not bad, not bad. I mean, I still have considerations with the shurikens and the nekote. However, I did put Tessen way higher than the shuriken. I bet this is gonna be my longest video yet because there's just so many of it. But yeah, if you guys like this, Leave a comment down below what you think, or maybe not because you're not a big history buff, but maybe you're a weeaboo, and maybe some characters you know in anime or video games or cartoons may have these weapons. I mean, come on, there's literally Ninja Turtle weapons here. Yeah, that's about it. Bye.